where I lose sleep at night is I want to see new agents get the ball rolling, and real estate's not for everybody. Some agents shouldn't have a license. Like, they just don't have the personality to do it. And like I said,
or the grit to get started.
Right. Or the grit to get started.
What's up, YouTube? Man, this conversation is going to be off the chain. Here with a special guest. Josh Marzucco has got one of the largest real estate groups in at a time where everyone's looking at this real estate bubble. And is it about to crash? Not only Josh is going to comment about real estate, good investments, residential and commercial, but he's also going to talk about entrepreneurship, building a sales team. He's got one of the fastest growing real estate organizations in the country. He'll have to go through, the accolades and what they're doing. But I know one thing, here in Naples, everybody knows Marzucco Real Estate. And, for y'all, if you're watching this, you're a contractor, hopefully inside this episode, you learn a little bit about how your network is, your net worth. Me and Josh sat down for lunch. Since then, he's been hooking me up with some referrals. He said somebody knocked on his door. What'd you say to that guy?
Told him I said I only work with leehaight.
Oh, shit.
Am I saying your last name right?
It's Haight.
Haight? Okay.
It's funny. Everybody gets it wrong. I don't go correcting people, but all good. Very pumped up about this, brother. Welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, man. Yes. So talk to me a little bit about your story, growing up here in Naples. And
so not your typical Naples kid. I actually grew up in Golden Gate. So I grew up with my dad in Golden Gate. My mom also lived in Golden Gate. Parents were divorced. Grew up with my dad. He was a janitor at a little Catholic school in Golden Gate City. Long story short, after my parents' divorce, he was flat broke. He and I lived in a room like this for 10 years. And then we rented a master bedroom from a Dominican family. And we lived in that master bedroom in Golden Gate City for 10 years. Ate Subway and Taco Ardiente every night, did our dishes in the bathtub, did our clothes at a laundromat.
Wow.
So finally in 2008, my dad said he was in the bar business in Pennsylvania years ago, and said he was always going to open another bar one day. He lost his job at the school, just kind of just had a difference with the boss man, and he started Zucchi's, our sports bar that we still have till this day. So my brother and I, we went in on that with him in 2008 and got into building and flipping a little bit of homes on the side while we were running the sports bar. And for years, he pestered me to get my license. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to be a realtor. I love the bar business.
You're blue collar.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to sell homes. And just got it in 2015. And it kind of just took off for me. Got lucky, blessed, all good timing. Being born and raised here, knew a lot of people. Just like you said, your network is your net worth. A lot of people know our last name. My family has a big construction company, and 2017 started the brokerage. I thought to myself, I can do this on my own, and launched the brokerage in 17. And I have probably about seven or eight equity partners now. Some really key people that we brought in over the years, and we're just about to hit 400 agents. And
wow, 400 agents, dang!
And opened our fourth office in Lake City. We're getting ready to open another one out in Leehigh, and probably going to target the East Coast next.
Oh, nice, man. So as you're growing, how do you decide when it's time to open up a new office? Because a lot of times people are always wondering, when you open that second shop, do you split your focus? I'm sure.
Right. So that's a good question. We kind of just played off the demographic. We're 100% commission brokerage, so we kind of look to target areas that, and we're not the only 100% commission brokerage in the world, but we look for areas that it's not too prevalent in that area. Mm-hmm. And we, give someone a little bit of equity in that office, and myself and my partners check on it as much as we can. We travel to that office as much as we can, but for the most part, the managing partners will run that office, and I'll still broker every office in the whole state. But we just more so off the demographic and the need for a 100% commission company.
A lot of people watching this, they have a sales team or they might be salesmen. When you first went on commission, I guess you were involved in the bar business,
Right.
Even being a partner, that makes you an entrepreneur, but there's that cash flow. Can you remember like when you first went into sales? I mean, they did sales, but do you think it was any different making that transition from the bar business to sales?
Not really, because it's all people.
Yeah.
I love people. As long as you love people and you're good with people and they know you, like you, and trust you. A lot of my first sales came right out of the restaurant and the bar.
Right.
I was behind the bar every night, managing and bartending and running food, and you just get so acquainted with these people. I mean, you know how the bar business is. People are coming in, 3-4 nights a week. And a lot of probably my first 20 sales came right out of the bar. And, my uncle owns Marzucco's Construction here in Naples. He's had it since 1986, pretty big construction company. And the day I got my real estate license, he goes, Josh, you don't ever have to sell one home. He goes, just sell your relationship. He goes, sell yourself. And he goes, the homes will follow. And I've stuck by that, trained my agents that way. And he's right. Absolutely right. Just sell the relationship. If people know you, like you, and trust you, they're going to use you.
Absolutely. And so, getting into this mindset of as a contractor, a lot of times we're trying to figure out how we can best serve realtors. And, whether it's, for my buddy Keith, I went and removed a tarp and it, just for free, just went and took a tarp off a roof. But,
right.
Next thing I got a referral. Is there any specific way that contractors might approach a realtor and find a way to build a relationship? You got any tips for that?
Yeah. Just keep that line of communication open. Realtors, just like anyone else that's commissioned, they're working on that sale at the end of the day. So, you can, with realtors, if you, throw them a bone, or you're going to, they might think they're going to get a lead out of it, or a listing, or a sale. That's what they're looking for. The money in real estate, you're only getting paid on commission. So,
well, I got to put you out there for my buyer list, because I'm looking for commercial real estate.
Okay.
I got my eyes on finding a place that's sort of a headquarters for my whole central operation.
Right.
Might be anywhere probably close to 20,000 square feet.
Wow.
Probably will have to build that.
Okay.
Was recently looking at a commercial property as an investment opportunity. It was 12 units, but the guy wanted ridiculous amounts of money. I could build it for cheaper than I could buy it.
Right.
And ended up passing on the deal because I couldn't get it. But basically, when do you think a good time for really going out there and picking up these Airbnbs? I want to go and get into Cape Coral on the water. I want to try, but I feel like I kind of missed the bubble a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you did. I don't think you missed the bubble. That's that's something. It's kind of a joke in my family. Everyone came down to Naples in the early '80s from Pennsylvania, and I was born here in '87. And my dad and my uncles joke saying they've been waiting for the prices to come down for 35 years.
Oh, right.
And it's just, we might level off. We might, we had a crazy incline during COVID. Now it's leveling off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it's only going to get better. The sun's always going to shine here. The water's always going to be here. So I don't feel like you missed the bubble. I think now is the right time. It's better than any time.
Right.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah, and as other markets collapse or browse,
right.
Ours is still attracting people.
Exactly.
There's some more listings on the market, but have you seen any shifts in the market recently?
Definitely. I don't think, and this is just, my general opinion, don't have a crystal ball. I don't think we're going to see a crash like skeptics are saying, like 08. Mm-hmm. 08 was a totally different ball game, completely fraudulent lending. It was just totally corrupt. What happened during COVID was, partly because of our governor. People wanted the freedom of Florida. They saw what was going on here, and they're, sitting in 20-degree weather in New York, and they can't even, take their dog outside without a mask.
Right.
So, COVID was kind of a fluke. Mm-hmm. And I think people discovered the hidden gem of Florida. People really discovered what a free state we are, and, how great the weather is, and, just the freedom and the culture and the real estate. So, I think now is as good a time as ever to invest in Florida.
Heck yeah.
As long as we have DeSantis here.
Absolutely.
Hate to go political, but DeSantis is...
He's the man, dude.
Daddy D.
he really, like, at first there was some laws they signed into place that made it illegal for us to say the words insurance claim in a roofing ad. And my picture was one of the components to the law.
Okay.
It said, no more offering gift cards with roof inspections. Like, it's the roofer's fault that insurance companies are losing money. And, of course, insurance companies aren't losing money.
Right.
But I guess it's sort of like saying the realtors are at fault for having to pay for higher taxes from county tax appraisers.
Right.
So, but he signed that bill, and so I was mad at him. But recently there was a solar bill, and it's a sort of deal a lot of Republicans in Florida supported. But DeSantis knew that if he signed it, that 40,000 people would be put out of work. And so I saw him there at that point cross political lines and say, okay, I'm a proponent for the American dream, and this is better for people, and this provides a lot of jobs. And even though he's probably got Chromies taking money from power companies, he still vetoed that bill. So I'm like, okay, now this guy could be the guy. Now, question about DeSantis. Do you think he should run for president, or do you think Trump should run for president?
See, I mean,
because you're kind of my age, you know.
Right.
You know,
Right.
A lot of my grandpa thinks Trump. You know,
right. See, if Trump runs, he can only do another 4 years, right?
Right.
So if DeSantis runs, he's potentially good for 8. I love Trump just as much as anyone else. Think at some point in time he needed to learn to keep his mouth shut a little bit, but it's just the way he is, and he did a great deal for the country. But I think he might have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in the past couple of years. In my opinion, I would think DeSantis should run. But still love Trump.
Yeah, if we want a chance to win, I would think that there's plenty of people. He just couldn't turn it off. You know what I mean? And so, there's something about that ego that turns people off. And the reality is I don't know about what happened or not, but did you see that 2,000 Mules documentary?
I did,
dude. What'd you think about that?
I thought that was pretty intense. I don't know how something like that could even happen in this day and age.
Well, I guess that's why they're just going to keep letting the illegals come across the border, because that's more mules.
Right.
But if you hadn't seen that, it's quite the eye-opener. Won't go into too much details. Might get canceled here.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But either way, I mean, you should check it out for yourself. It's worth the money for sure, because there's a lot of proof that our election wasn't as honest as... I mean, I knew it was a lie in the beginning, didn't you?
Right. Oh, yeah.
But
Trump expected it.
My question is next time this happens, because, dude, I thought Naples, this shit wouldn't happen to us. Protests, BLM, all the stuff. Like, of course, he's in the news. He's taking $10 million. I just saw that headline.
Right.
But there was protesters here in Naples.
Yeah.
And, we started talking whenever I did a fight, but those people protesting the rich, I was worried people from Miami or people were just going to come down our street and start looting around. And I thought, man, I don't know if I'm prepared to defend my family.
Yeah.
You ever felt like that before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm more of a gun advocate than anyone. I probably have over 60, 70 guns, but still, you never know. You never know what to expect.
I went and loaded up on my ammunition and got out in the range and started training for a fight. But a realtor, you actually went inside the cage.
Yeah, I did.
What made you want to do that?
I grew up with a rough crowd. Some of my buddies. Grew up with a rough crowd, through middle school and high school. And we're always just getting into street fights. And my dad was a pretty rough guy. He has a pretty bad reputation back home, and his brothers were pretty rough too. But I don't know. I just thought of it as a challenge. If someone tells me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. And I wanted to learn the right way. Started training with Mike King back in the day. Do you know Mike King?
Mm-mm.
So
Mike, he actually fought in the UFC.
Yeah. So he fought Cathal Pendred on Conor McGregor's card, if I'm not mistaken. And Mike
now
was
he's long haired dude, and he's like out in the mountains.
He's yes. He grew it out. She's cut short again. He was on the Ultimate Fighter.
Nice.
Got his eye poked out in the Ultimate Fighter.
Damn it.
And but Dana White still gave him a contract because he was kicking ass. But so I trained with him, trained with Crafton Wallace back in the day. Crafton signed me up for an amateur fight, and he cornered me in one of them. And then Mike King cornered me in another one, and I did another one that wasn't even sanctioned over in Fort Lauderdale. It was like so,
blood sport.
Yeah, it was just terrible. Like even
Did
the
you ever
one
watch
in,
that movie, Bloodsport?
Oh yeah,
That's one of my
That's how
favorites.
this was. Like I went to showed up to the weigh-in on a Friday night. The fight was at the Immokalee Casino. Showed up to a little Hodonk hotel in Fort Myers for the weigh-in. I was 32 pounds less than my opponent.
Oh, nice.
And he was this big Mexican dude from Texas. And the promoter's looking at me. I had like 20 friends there. And he's looking at me like, you're still going to fight him, right? And I'm like, yeah, because now I'm going to look like a freaking pussy if I back out. It's the night before the fight. They put shit in my pockets. I weighed in fully clothed with shit in my pockets.
Just so that he didn't know how light you were?
To get within a certain weight so I could still fight him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we fought the next night. Tuned him up pretty good in the first round. Almost stopped the fight. Second round started. Got him in double underhooks. Went to like toss him. And my patella popped out.
Oh, damn it.
So that was back in like 2014 or 2013 maybe. The doctor came in the cage, popped my knee back in, patted me on the back, and I never fought again. Yeah, I haven't been in a cage ever since.
Nice.
But I loved it. I just wanted the challenge of it.
Nice.
Just I was not any good at jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. Just like to just get in there and wing it.
That's awesome,
But,
dude. I just heard Levi, the guy you were talking to earlier, we did the Blue Collar Fight Club, and he's actually going to fight Crafton's son in November.
Which one?
Malcolm.
Malcolm, yeah.
Yeah, the
he's
bigger one.
Yeah,
Beast.
he's a beast.
Yeah. Levi's quite the grappler. It's going to be the scrap.
That's awesome.
We want to put it on this Blue Collar Fight Club card.
Is that MMA?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be MMA, 4-ounce gloves in November.
Yeah.
And basically, we've got this thing, Blue Collar Fight Club, where, if you got a beef, if you train, or even if you don't train, we get sanctioned bout, whether it's kickboxing or MMA. And last time we did it at an event. And so we got to do something like that and get some of the local, for the locals, for the realtors. Like
I've been saying this for years. I used to ask my dad at the bar we owned years ago, we need to have just like Friday night fights. And he was like, I don't want to mess with the insurance and all the BS. But I've been saying that's a great idea. That's an awesome idea.
Well, whether we do it at a big venue in Fort Myers or figure it out in Naples, another thing is that our gym, Keith has got it set up inside the gym. We can even do stuff like smoker night and stuff at the gym there locally. So pretty pumped about that.
I've trained with Keith. Crafton, he's popped my knee back in place before. My knee popped in Crafton's cage one day just grappling.
Damn it.
That was the first time. And that's what started it. And Crafton popped it back in. We went back to sparring. Crafton's like, you're a crazy mofo.
Damn.
He's a good dude. I love the Wallace family.
Dude, you're a tough guy, man. That's unbelievable. Any moments like that in business where you felt like your patella popped out and you had to put it back in place?
Yeah, we got I got hit with a lawsuit a few years back, like pretty much brand new into it. Not going to mention any names, but I got hit with a class action lawsuit for something one of my agents was doing that I had no knowledge of them doing. They were like spamming a ton of text messages, which is against a TCPA act.
Right.
And here I am. I only had like 30 agents at the time.
Oh, I've been in that shoe before.
Guy comes through the front door wearing a service badge. I knew it wasn't good, and I freaked out. I was in a panic for like 2 or 3 months. Ended up not being so bad because, like I said, I had no knowledge of it, and but it was terrifying. You're worried about your livelihood, and especially when you had nothing to do with what caused the lawsuit. But at the end of the day, as the broker, I'm liable for everything.
Oh, I know, man.
So,
and there's even more I's to dot and T's to cross and more liability when it comes to
100%
brokerage.
Yeah.
And, how long did it take you to go from selling real estate to deciding you want to open your own brokerage?
Not long. I've always dreamed big. Ever since I was a little kid, I always knew I wanted to work for myself, wanted to do something big. I just didn't know what it was. And I tried a bunch of shit. Tried fighting, tried being a charter captain, did speedboat tours.
Was there any perks to the charter business?
Nothing. And got my 6-pack license, got my master's captain's license, and ended up not really doing anything with it. Started a bartending school. Tried a bunch of different things, and got my real estate license. Like I said, I just kind of got lucky with it, and just from having a big network of people. Mm-hmm. And and I was like, you know what, I can do this on my own. You know, here I am. I was with a company. I was happy with them. They were 100%. They merged with a big corporate brokerage and didn't tell anybody till like the last second. And they changed our commission splits overnight. And I was one of the top 10 producers out of like 200 or 300 agents. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to open my own brokerage. And friends were pushing me to do it. You know, so I did it. And so it didn't take me long. I was only licensed less than 2 years. And I had my best friend's mom be my broker before I even had my broker's license. So a lot of people don't know you can do that. Like, you can hire a managing broker and not be the broker and open a real estate company.
Yeah.
I learned that years ago, just, you know, from a friend, and then I did it. And then I eventually got my broker's license.
I've been giving a lot of money to attorneys. I've been thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I need to start my own firm and just hire them attorneys.
Well, that best friend just took the bar 2 months ago. So
nice. Now you're going to the business of Marzucco law. Nice.
Hopefully.
Hell yeah, that's badass, man. So talk to me a little bit about how you've used social media branding. You have a brand around here, and you know, you talk about service, the good old boy network, and always trying to help people and looking out for people's best interests. But also, you've built a certain brand.
Yeah.
How have you, any things that's worked?
I just I feel like it's worked, you know, because it really helped grow the agent base. I don't sell real estate myself anymore, so if my own dad wants to sell a house or my mom, I give it to an agent. We just split it. So I don't compete against the agents. But definitely the social media side has really helped build the brand. From day one of opening the company, I just thought, you know, content. I was posting everything in the office, posting sales, posting closing, posting under contracts. And it just kind of snowballed off of that.
All organic.
All organic, yeah. I never paid for followers, never paid for leads, never paid for, you know, sponsored ads. I may have paid for a few sponsored ads. They never got me anywhere. That was like when they first became a thing. But just pushing content. And I was just pushing other agents. Instead of, branding myself, because my name is attached to everything anyway, you know, I was just posting as many agents and pushing their content as much as I possibly could to help them get sales and to help blow them up.
Dang,
and
bro.
it just snowballed.
I just had a huge idea. Because, you know, a lot of guys want to become a millionaire in real estate, and they want to learn how to do it through maybe being a salesperson.
Right.
And you've done it quickly by building your own brokerage, and then you scale by making partnerships with people in that brokerage.
Right.
So if you created a training based on that and put it on the internet, even if you broke even or gave it away, man, I'm telling you, that's sort of what Skydiamonds University is for me. It brings in a lot of the guys that maybe are good and independent minded, but they end up deciding to partner up.
Yeah.
And anyways,
I just don't look at everything either with a dollar sign at the end of the tunnel.
right.
Maybe it's stupid business wise, you know, so a lot of people tell me I'm too nice, but I just don't care. If I can be on my boat on the weekend with my kids and my family and my friends, I don't need to make a percentage off of every little deal or every little thing. I help agents that don't even work for us daily. I had a 20-minute phone call with an agent that's with a competing brokerage today. And
Just coaching them up.
just helping them out. I don't care. And that, it kind of irks me when I meet someone that every single thing they do, they want a piece of the pie, just for every little thing. And maybe that's great for making money long term. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I just don't like when every little thing is attached to it. I don't need to help someone to make something out of it.
No, amen. It's 100%. The one thing about it, and now the only reason why I brought up money and charging for training is the advertising is like throwing money in a hole sometimes.
Right.
Like the sponsoring and posts and stuff. And for me, if I can break even almost, then it's just like free gasoline for the fire.
Yeah.
So I also need to just create more branded content with that in mind. This is good lessons for me because I've seen like anybody getting into the real estate business less than 10 years as a 400 person sales team. I mean, how many? That's probably top 0.01% of total brokers nationwide, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I haven't looked into that yet. There's some big ones out there, a lot of gimmicky ones.
Yeah.
And, they lose agents.
What do you think about this, like, other stuff that's come along, like XRP or anything like that?
EXP.
Whatever. Yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't
great
even know.
concept. Like, I'll never sit here and like talk shit about another brokerage. It's a great concept. And they have like 70, 80,000 agents worldwide. And it's great for the way, life has shifted as far as technology wise and, people not wanting to be in an office and work from their home. I'm pretty sure they're a completely digital brokerage. They have a few offices leased out. I think they have a deal with like Venture X or something.
But it's like kind of like a virtual thing.
It's like a virtual thing, which is cool. And
you don't get the culture.
Right. We, don't do it that way. We have physical office locations. We brought back that camaraderie in real estate and that vibe and culture in the office. Whereas, I just left my Naples location and there was 20 agents in there on a Tuesday. That's like unheard of in real estate offices nowadays. And everyone's sitting there collaborating and helping each other and sharing ideas and sharing marketing techniques and social media and stuff like that. So EXP is a great concept. Don't get me wrong. I'm just against commission split companies. We're 100%, and that's just our model.
Yeah.
But, they have 80,000 agents, I think, so something must be working.
Yeah.
We just like to be in office and
there's also
agents.
that like idea that I like to do business with the people that are doing business with me, with a person, and like I said, a relationship over everything.
Right.
And so, getting into this roofing dilemma, roofing can kind of mess up a real estate deal sometimes. You ever had that happen?
Yeah, that's why I got you.
Right?
That's why I texted you last week, I think, about something. Yeah. I forget what was going down.
We went and took care of that lady, that guy.
Yeah.
A couple times that we went out, and there was, like, a lot of times 2 or 3 roofers might be coming out, and like you said, you got to get out there quick because basically these people are trying to make a move on and get something done. We got 1 out of 3, which is, I'm going to increase on that, but basically we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that one's getting built, so we definitely want to like give back. More importantly, it's like listings for like stuff that I want to do, like if I ever sold my home.
Right.
The idea though, like where I live is, man, I don't ever want to sell that piece of property.
Yeah, no, I know.
I want to buy more.
I might move in with you just to put my boat on your dock.
There you go. There you go. No,
that's a gold mine there.
I'm telling you. Biggest question is like on this roofing thing, where's that roofing a problem for realtors?
So after Irma, it was screwing up a lot of deals because I'm completely oblivious as to how the insurance and the roofing side of it works, but I just know a lot of deals were either falling through or a lot of people were hesitant to go through, and it held up a lot of deals because
The claims were pending.
Correct. And, people were fighting over when the roof was going to be done. They didn't want to close until the roof was complete. Well, then, the roofer might have been 3 months out. Then that changed to 5 months out. Then people were trying to get out of contract. So after Irma, for 2 or 3 years, it was a pain in the ass. And not too many people knew, what exactly was going on. And it was holding up a lot of deals.
Yeah. Now, kind of the aftermath of that, all the roofs that kind of went through the insurance process have been kind of settled out, but now everyone that missed out. So there's 2 sides of it. You got an old roof, and you might have sustained a little damage. And the people of the state say, well, these roofers that are running around knocking on doors telling you to file claims, they're messing up our whole system. Well, here's the thing. They made a new law, and they signed this law. It states if your roof doesn't have 5 years of life expectancy, then they can cancel you at any time. If your roof is over 10 years old, they can basically reduce your benefits down to actual cash value and make you replace the roof. And so that the leads that you've given me are usually people that have either been contacted by their insurance company and they're getting dropped, or they're being forced to update their roof. So it's like file a claim and beat the insurance company, or they're going to like tell you that you have to fix the roof 5 years later when their statute of limitations has came up. Okay. And so that's what's happening now. Thousands of people are getting these letters.
Right.
And everyone that gets these letters, they may not have had it in their budget for a new roof.
Right.
So, I mean, everybody I've offered 25-year financing, a $20,000 roof is basically $170 a month.
Wow.
And so with no money down.
That's great.
And then there is also one bit of education too. Whenever I come across these cash deals, I'm like, hey, look, if you want, you can get a 30% tax credit on that roof if you include solar. And of course, since last time we talked, they included tax credits for basically and upgraded the tax credits.
Right.
And a 30% off roof, a lot of times that's the markup.
Right.
So like if I'm doing a roof for my buddy, I can't lose money on it.
Yeah.
So I would just charge you material and labor and no markup.
Right.
It's a practically free roof. And that's what happens when you get 30% back and you do roofing and solar together.
Gotcha.
So like basically, there's been a blow up of solar. Have you noticed like all the new solar? I mean, I'm just driving around and just looking at it's everywhere.
Yeah. No, I'm seeing it.
Of course, Florida is, and Texas, the #1 states for solar installation. Any houses with solar get less or not be able to get sold? It's a big objection people have.
We've only had a few in the past year or two, but it's definitely helped the sale. We definitely, when we have a listing with a solar home, we definitely pitch it a little bit harder and try to upsell on the solar. I wouldn't say definitely not getting any less.
Yeah.
It definitely will help the sale. I had an agent the other day. I don't know if I text you on this or not, but they were asking about how does it work when someone's still paying on the solar? How does it transfer on the loan? I forget what the exact situation was, but it was. Does it transfer? Does the solar the credit?
Some of them can transfer. Here's the thing. A lot of times the way it works, it's very simple, is you just raise the amount of the selling price.
Gotcha.
To include the amount of solar. You consider that before you list it.
Okay.
And I mean, Zillow says you can get 10% more and that you can sell it faster and dollar for dollar. So I've came across people after they bought their home with solar, they say they inherited it. What does that mean? It means that loan that they had for the whole home covered paying off that solar loan for the old customer.
Okay.
And so now they have no electric bill. And in their mind, they just have a mortgage with no electric bill. And what's the difference between a lot of people, 500 and 550 or a million and $1,050,000?
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm spending a little bit more money. Like, they don't even notice it. But that's good to know, like, that you've been through some deals. It hadn't held anything up because the biggest thing about solar is like people are nervous about that. They're also they're nervous about the expense. And I don't know. The way it works a lot of times is there's just a ton of misconceptions. Have you? What are kind of your holdbacks on solar? Just to pick your brain.
I would just say just being uneducated on it is, and I think that's what with realtors as a whole is just not having a full grasp on how it works, how they save money, how the payments are made. My whole thing is just not being educated on it enough. That's where I didn't do a good enough job. We were in a hurry at lunch, and I know we're on a podcast, but I'll go real to the point. If you go back in time 10, 15 years, you look at the exact increase of energy costs, it might be 5-6% every year. Last year, a lot of the power bills went up way more. Right. 15, 20, 30%. Some people in different regions with different power companies, LECE and Duke Energy and some of these other power companies, double even. Right. So basically, the regular average American is already in debt with their power company. Because the thing is that your interest rate, their surcharges, they're called fuel surcharges, storm restoration surcharges, these little extra things that they basically will make sure that they're profitable. Right. And basically, the FPL, that's your power company, right? So they announced over the next 5 years increases. It's public that they're raising rates. They also announced how they're building solar fields and basically going to use solar panels to fuel these price increases. So solar makes sense for FPL. Right. As a smart entrepreneur, the way it works is simply using your rooftop to get paid to pay off your home faster. And, if you're paying cash for solar, that's the best value. And of course you're like, well, Lee, that's a lot of money. And you're right. But the reality is basically the way it works is the tax credit has gone up to 30%. And let's say the average solar is $40,000. Right. Basically, as the next 5 years goes up, you might have double the energy cost as it is now. In the next 10 years, maybe double on that. And
these solar systems last well beyond 30 years. They're guaranteed. And the way it works is, solar, you get a lot of sun in Florida.
Right.
And most of the loans are spread out over 25 years, 1.9%. And so for the average customer, we can replace their payment. So they can immediately, all the extra solar that you bring in that you don't use, you sell it back. That's called net metering. Mm-hmm. I've
heard that.
When you have a digital meter, all the extra power that you don't use gets sold back. And here in Florida, we're lucky because the bill that Ron DeSantis vetoed, it was the electric companies were trying to give you pennies on the dollar for your electricity. They wanted to charge you a certain amount, but if you created energy, they wanted to give you half of that.
Right.
But that vetoed, and you're getting dollar for dollar what they charge you. And if they're going to use solar to overcharge you over the next 5 years, you basically hedge your bet, and you get fixed. Usually, you replace your payment if it's $250 a month. Probably down at least average savings in Florida is 50. Some people are it's $100 a month, and even if they're only planning on being in their home for 2 years, you're saving them money usually right in the month one. And basically, whenever the rates go up and you've got a fixed payment, all the extra money you would be paying, kind of in debt to your electric company, you're paying off your home. And instead of renting off your power, you're paying off owning your power. And one day, all that money that you're creating monthly is going all into your bank account.
Gotcha.
And the average savings is anywhere from $150 to $180,000 on somebody with like a $250 over the course of 30 years.
Wow.
And so if I can save you $200 and it costs you $40,
right,
it's a good deal, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So just getting people to understand that is the reason why solar is an opportunity, and why basically educating your customers about it, whenever they close on the home, about the opportunity.
Right.
We talked about it before, but we have an ambassador program, and if you're just so busy, we can pass that along to the rep. But it would be an easy $1,000 per deal, and even if we just did an inspection, $100 per inspection. And same thing on the roofs too. The guys that are the referrals, I'll get to the one that we sold.
Right.
We want to make sure and give that listing agent, whoever is responsible, appreciation for spreading that referral.
For sure.
But hopefully we can get you some more information so you do know. Some of the best thing to do is to just do an evaluation on yours, just to see it, see how it works.
Right.
And you just give me a copy of the bill.
Right.
And then basically I'll give you the wholesale rate, and that would be kind of like something that you could offer to your friends and family too. But for me, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to learn from such a accomplished local entrepreneur.
Well, I appreciate that.
Because
vice versa.
I'm telling you, bro, I don't have 400 agents. Real estate is a different thing.
It is. We're super proud of it. It wasn't just me. I have a really incredible team behind me and staff.
You work with family?
No, not.
That might be the secret.
Yeah,
God, I work with pops and lots of family, wifey, everybody's involved.
Yeah, that's probably it. The real estate company is just mine. I work with family in the bar. We've had it for 15 years, and my brother and I were there for 8 or 9 of the years, almost every day. So I know what you mean. We were fighting with my dad every night. So, and that's probably why he's an accountant for Arthrex now, and I'm, doing what I'm doing. But we still, try to, pitch in as whenever we can at the bar and help out. But no, the real estate company is no family. A lot of good friends, that I consider, like family now. And they've helped me out tremendously, and they believe in the concept. They believe in the brand. And we just have a lot of great agents. And, it is tough. It's like my where I lose sleep at night is I want to see new agents get the ball rolling. And real estate's not for everybody. Some agents shouldn't have a license. They just don't have the personality to do it. And like I said,
or the grit to get started.
Right. Or the grit to get started. And you got to be good with people. You can't be afraid to talk to people. And some agents are. But I just feel bad for some agents that just can't get it going. And I try my best. We try to provide as much training and help. And and whatever we can to help them get there. But some people just don't.
It's funny you witness, because this also makes me lose sleep at night. I onboard new people, and the percentage in which I can get them their first 5 deals, and for us it's like a 2-week time window, but it might be longer as a real estate agent. But it's almost like a 90% retainage rate if I can accomplish like everything I need to and get them started.
Right.
And then I just don't really have to worry about them that much because they're kind of hooked.
Yeah.
But if I know that I'm having a hard time and there's people falling out, there's something wrong with my system.
Right.
You know, anything that y'all do in the beginning to help them be successful?
We have a little Marzucco University, kind of like a step-by-step training program, what to do next. You hung your license with a brokerage. Here's the steps to get going next. We do an orientation. We have weekly trainings religiously. Every week there's a training of each day of the week in every office location. And if they can't make it, it's videoed and put on the group. But in the beginning, it's more so just a little orientation.
Group in Facebook or what's
Group
that?
in Facebook,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Just for
everybody's sharing their wins.
Right.
It's a big part of company culture.
Exactly.
Nice.
And so they can always, if they miss a meeting, they can always catch the training. But we offer so much one-on-one help and support. It's unbelievable.
Like almost contact over content.
Right.
Like it's one thing to give them, but when you show up and are there in person, they know you care.
Exactly. And it's not just me. Like I said before, it's my whole team, behind it. Everyone's, willing to help and they all know, like we built that culture where we were all there, that new agent at one point in time asking questions and needing help at 9:00 at night. And that's what we kind of thrive on, is to help that new agent. We get a lot of new agents, brand new, right out of real estate school. And our retention rate is pretty good. I think it's better than most. But like I said, it kills me when I see someone with crazy potential and not utilizing it.
Absolutely. Hey, you've seen a lot of investors come through here and kill the residential game. How many of these guys on a large scale are buying up these individual residential homes? And what have you seen some of like the best strategies from these guys of just, really cleaning up here over the last couple of years?
Well, obviously cash is king anywhere. We get so many people that want to come to Southwest Florida and be a quote unquote investor, and they see the light at the end of the tunnel and they think it's so easy, and but cash is king in this town. I mean, you could be sitting on Fifth Avenue and you could be next to a billionaire, and I can guarantee you're not going to outbid most of the people in this town when you're trying to do things on borrowed money. But I think a lot of people are waiting on this bubble to burst. And I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not trying to act like it's never going to end and it was going to go up forever. I said it was going to come down.
You said it's been a 35-year joke.
Right. Yeah.
It's never gone down since you've been here.
It's going to always plateau and pull back.
Maybe
we're
in a special spot here in Naples.
I think we are.
Yeah.
I don't even think, even after COVID or during COVID, I still think Naples is a hidden gem. I still think Southwest Florida has still not been discovered. And obviously it doesn't have the popularity as like
Miami. But it's just so much better than the East Coast. It's so much better than Tampa. It's so much better than Orlando.
By far.
I mean, I've lived everywhere in this country, and it's a gem.
Yeah. I know I have some dear friends of mine, a really great mentor of mine. He's the president of the largest wine distributor in the world, and they were going to plan on the East Coast until they found Naples. I think they came here for like a wedding or a party or something and fell in love with it. Now he's buying up, stuff left and right here in Naples. They bought a place on the beach, and he's buying rental properties, left and right. And I think that happens to a lot of people. They think like West Palm and Palm Beach and Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Bro.
And they come here and it's game over.
Even Fort Lauderdale on the water hadn't appreciated the way we have on the water. I mean, some of that stuff is all junky. It's not attracting the right people. And then the rentals, the people, I rented a house next door before I bought. The guy was making good money covering the mortgage, but he's raised his rent 2 times since then. And the property's value has gone up 3. He said, I got rentals everywhere. This is the best investment I got.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, if your appreciation's going to go up, someone else is going to pay for it.
Right.
I mean, of course, there's bad renters and stuff, but here in Naples at that higher price point, is there less of that?
A little bit less. But what people what people don't realize is, aside from like Port Royal and downtown Naples, we were way behind as a market compared to most waterfront towns around the country, even in Florida. People, said that, yes, the market went crazy. We had a spike in prices, crazy increase in price, but we were still a little bit behind the rest of the country as far as waterfront areas. So I think now it's starting to level out a little bit, and it's kind of normalizing, but we were catching up, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right, because a $1.5 million teardown in Tampa is in a junky neighborhood,
right? Versus
where it was in my neighborhood, which is not, the average house this year was $4.8 million.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't know, Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, it's just like there's dungy areas right there on the edge, right next to the. I guess you could say that about Naples, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a hidden gem.
Yeah,
it's only going to get better. We have just such a clean town, and they're never going to let it turn into Miami or Fort Lauderdale. I think we're going to get busier and busier, but as far as like the overpasses and just the overall congestion, I don't think that's ever going to happen at least in Southwest Florida. Definitely not Naples.
That's awesome, man. I just had this idea to do my event on the West Coast this year, not in Miami. I usually always go over there and do it, but I want to do it over here. I did it over here the first year at the old Naples Beach Hotel.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool spot.
I bet that's a hell of a spot to do it.
But that's gone. Not have to be at the Grand or something.
Yeah, that'd be sweet too.
But man, we have to have you come speak, dude.
Oh boy,
come be that guy. Because there's so many gyms inside this podcast, dude. We talked about sales, we talked about service, we talked about scaling, man. And basically, dude, I just know like between now and then we're gonna do lots of deals. There's gonna be lots of opportunities. So
yeah. When is it?
I don't know. Like last year we did it in May, the year before in March, but it's gonna be sometime between January and March this year, and I'll kind of time it, but.
Good, I'll be there.
It'll be season.
Yeah.
And anybody that might want to move to Naples, they'll hit you up out of the audience.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys. Hey, was that not an epic podcast? Comment below any questions you got for Josh. I'll get them over to him. Hey, how can they follow you? How can they get in touch with you? You can search just Josh Marzucco on Facebook or Instagram. My Instagram's The Realist Broker. Like I said in the beginning, I don't try to be, the typical yuppie Naples broker. We don't follow in a straight line. We're kind of the disruptor, and as you are too. I don't want to do what anybody else is doing. Hell yeah! Now we got to go fishing.
Yeah,
we got to quit playing on all these work meetings and go talk business out there while we're fishing.
That's right.
That's really what it's all about, guys. Your network is your net worth, and incredibly grateful to have you on my podcast. Thanks for coming to do this, brother.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And if you're watching this, make sure that you subscribe, because there's some fire that goes down in the Blue Collar Boardroom, and we got more coming for you. So thanks for watching.